Toastmasters, and he's relatively new. He just joined Toastmasters in October of '09, but I get the sense that he's ready to go, and he's on speech number 3, which is the get to the point. And the objectives of this speech is to select the speech topic and determine its general and specific purposes, organize the speech in a manner that best achieves those purposes, ensure the beginning, body, and conclusion reinforce the purposes, project sincerity and conviction and control any nervousness you may feel, and strive not to use notes. Now, our speaker is actually, he's going to be speaking on a topic that's close to what he does. He is a mortgage broker, and I think actually it's going to be an interesting field as interest rates will presumably start to move in the near future. So he's an independent mortgage broker, and I think most of us understand what that entails. His speech title for today is called Top 3 Ways to Save Money in Your Mortgage. I know none of us have any interest in that. So please welcome Camilo Rodriguez.
Top 3 ways to save money in your mortgage. Mr. Toastmaster, fellow Toastmasters, and welcome guest. A couple of weeks ago, I was talking to a friend, and he told me, Camilo, I've become a walking economy. He just turned 40, and he just said, I'm becoming a walking economy. And I go, what do you mean you're becoming a walking economy? Well, Camilo, you know, my hairline is in recession. My stomach is a victim of inflation. And every time I look at the mirror, I get a big depression. So I go on the positive side, you still have a hairline, I don't have a hairline anymore. The first way to save money on your mortgage is to watch your mortgage renewal date. As you may already know, those of you who have a mortgage, you usually get a mortgage for 25 to 35 years. And you get a contract for usually 5 years. After 5 years, you are able to renegotiate with the same lender the terms of your mortgage, your interest rate, conditions, and everything else. What most people do not know is at that time, you're able to switch your mortgage from your current lender to another lender. And that has, of course, no cost to you at all. It's just paperwork, okay? Now, your current bank, even though you may be paying your mortgage for 5 or 10 years, of course, do not want you to know that you can do that with other banks because they want to keep your business. And unfortunately, what they need to do is they need to increase their profits. You know that banks are for-profit organizations. So what they do is 2 weeks before renewal date, they send you a letter, you know, with your new options, hoping that you can just pick one and send the renewal letter later. If you do that, you are going to be losing a lot of opportunity to save money on your mortgage. Of course, if you go to another bank or to a mortgage broker, he will try to do the best to reduce that interest rate. But the most effective way to do that is to watch your mortgage renewal date, and 6 months, 4 to 6 months before your renewal date, contact a mortgage broker. What I do with my clients is I locked in the interest rate at that time. You may already know that interest rates may go up in the future. Interest rates is just a commodity. They go up and down over time. So I locked in at this rate. If rates go up, you are secure at this rate. If they go down, I keep locking down at a lower rate. And I continue with that process over up to 4 to 6 months. So I guarantee you that I have a very high probability of getting the lowest rate over the last 6 months. 6 months is getting a mortgage on sale. If you wait until the last minute, you may be able to negotiate a little lower rate, but not too much. Using this simple strategy, I was able to save 1% on a $200,000 mortgage on a client. That was the highest that I've been able to save. That is $2,000 per year. Over 5 years, is $10,000. And you don't even feel that you're losing that money over time. Second way I like to keep things simple. Most of us know that mortgage rates most likely are the lowest rates of all. And most of us have visas or other lines of credits or car loans or other obligations. If you consolidate everything into your mortgage, you are gonna save a lot of money. By doing that, probably a year and a half ago, a realtor friend of mine saved $1,500 a month just by consolidating everything into a secure line of credit, a big mortgage, and just lowering the payment to a low mortgage rate. Very simple strategy, and every time I'm amazed to see that people have paid 4 or 5 bills at a different time with higher interest rates. Okay, this is a very powerful technique, and there's no need to spend any money or to do anything. Just bring it down to a low level. If you want to keep the same payment that you were using before, even though you can save, let's say, $500 a month, if you keep the same payment, what you're gonna do is, instead of paying your mortgage in 20 years, you're gonna be paying it in 15 years or 13 years. 1 year of savings, it's $1,500 a month payment, is $18,000. So think how much money you can save by just using these two strategies. The last one I wanted to talk to you about is you can become a bank. We all know, as I said before, that banks are in the business of making money. And most of you have RSPs or term deposits or mutual funds or other cash assets that right now in this environment are making very little money. You can, instead of TD Bank, mortgage document, Mr. and Mrs. Jones, you can become yourself, mortgage document, Mr. and Mrs. Jones. You can use your RSP, you can use any type of money. You can lend money anytime at an interest rate that you negotiate between the other person and yourself. So you become a bank. Why do I say that you save money on your mortgage? 3 years ago, I sold a duplex that I had, and when I sold the property, the person who bought it from me knew that I was gonna get a chunk of money, so he asked me for $10,000. So I said, okay, let's negotiate it, and we agreed on a second mortgage, and the interest rate that we agreed upon was 10%. So for the last 3 years, he's been paying me 10% interest rate. It's just a post-dated check that I deposit into my account every day. And this month, it was a 3-year term, so this month, he's paying me out, so he's giving me back the $10,000 that I lent him 3 years ago. What I did with that payment was not only I deposit my own income to pay for my mortgage, I deposited that payment as well into my mortgage. So I now have 2 sources of income paying off my mortgage, so I paid way, way faster. In a nutshell, keep things simple, consolidate all your obligations into a low interest rate, watch your mortgage renewal date, be well aware way before your renewal comes due, and if you have a desire to become a bank, research the subject, and lend money. I think it's a very profitable investment. Thank you very much.